Concita, where's my coffee?
It's here, behind me.
Ah.
O que é isso?
Qual que é o meu?
O seu é da xícara menor. Não, na estampadinha. É.
This one. Okay.
So Dora, tell me about ethnography in Brazil.
Ethnography in Brazil as in general terms?
Yeah.
Now, more specific, what do you want to know? How does it work, or what could be the use of it?
Well, I'm more interested in just what people think of it when you go to clients here and talk to them about ethnography. What's their reaction?
Well, there is a bit of misinformation, I reckon. So they think that ethnography would be the source of research. Okay, the problem is that we have big companies doing ethnography and they don't really know how to do it.
When you say big companies, who? Not by name, but are you talking about advertising agencies, or are you talking about manufacturing?
Research institutes, that's how they call them in Brazil. So they do something that they call ethnography. They do not have experience on that. I think they started to do this in Brazil because their clients started to ask about it. The clients as well don't really know what to expect from it, and they don't really know how to do it. So there is a misunderstanding when we go to talk about real ethnography. They have this concept that comes from this ethnography that is done in a wrong way, with the wrong reading as well, wrong interpretation, and so it's quite difficult because they don't really believe that this could bring some efficient results and something that could actually turn into profits for their company. So they think that this is something that is going to bring them close to the people that buy their products, and they would be able to see how they live, how they buy, how they behave, and all of that. But they don't really know how to bring this into the real problems, the problems that they face on a daily basis on their companies. So this is pretty much the problem that we're facing at the moment. Apart from that, I think that strategically, if you think of Brazil, there is a big need of understanding in depth Brazilian population, Brazilian culture, and how people behave, consume, and all of that, but with a proper reading, with a proper interpretation of this data. Because Brazil is growing, we have a very peculiar cultural background, and is a very interesting market for many international companies. And as they come to Brazil, happened to us, for example, that they came with a product that was sold on US, and the US part of the company wanted the Brazilian bit to use the same advertising strategy that they had on the US. So the people that were working here, they were finding very difficult to actually go with this message to the consumers. They wouldn't understand because it was all done for the US consumers.
Mm-hmm.
And so they called us to make a sort of ethnographic documentary showing why it wouldn't work in Brazil. And then we went to talk to, it was a cosmetic product, so we went to talk to a few girls and spent like 2-3 days with each one of them, trying to understand how they use these cosmetic things, and also how they make their choices on what to use, what not to use, when, and all of that. And then they sent this documentary to the US to prove that they couldn't just import the strategy and apply it in Brazil. This is something that we heard many times in the companies that they try to do, because they try to save money and they say, okay, we've got a great team working in the US and they've done everything, we just put it in Brazil, apply it over there and it's going to work. And of course it doesn't. So it's a matter of having data good enough to show to people how to do it in Brazil, because it's not only that this is not going to work in Brazil, but what would work in Brazil. So then understanding the culture and all the details about the Brazilian lifestyle, you could actually come up with solutions that would work in Brazil.
What are the biggest barriers to doing it? What kind of reasons or excuses do they come up with? But before you answer.
Okay, can I answer now?
Mm-hmm.
The first one is that they think that it looks very expensive, because we do spend a lot of time with the people that we are studying, and there is the filming involved, and also because I think that we use the language that we use on our materials, website and all of those things, they look quite sophisticated in a way, although they are not. Mm-hmm. They're very simple, and we try to keep them straight to the point. They look like something that has been lots of money spent on, and so it looks expensive on their point of view. Then we heard the other day from a woman planning in an advertising agency, and she said that she knows that people that do qualitative research can't make any money out of it because it's very expensive and the results are not that important, and she thinks that it's very difficult to make money out of it, so she thinks that everyone starts doing qualitative research and then they go to quant researchers because they think that that's how they make money. Which is something that I, of course, do not agree. I think it is more expensive if you think that you can talk to 1,000 people for the same money that on an ethnographic study you would talk to 10 people. But then the results are completely different, and the information that you get from one is completely different than the information that you get from the other. So it's not a matter of how many people you're going to talk to, it's a matter on how deep the information that you're going to get can be, and which sort of insights and new information this can bring to you.